Okay, so how do I put this? NASCAR, what are you doing? It hurts my brain, but gosh dang it. If you guys didn't know, on Monday night NASCAR released some new news with a press conference about the new point system for all three of the top series, the trucks, the Xfinity series, and the Monster Cup series. And it also changed how the races are going to be run, where they're adding stages now. Kind of like the All-Star race, but they're adding stages, so they're intentionally adding breaks at like the quarter and the halfway mark of the race. Like, why? I hate breaks in racing. Like, not that I just hate cautions or anything, because I don't. Like, crashes are cool and all that stuff, but like, intentionally stopping the race, and like in the All-Star races and stuff like that, and the Bud Shootout or the whatever like that and stuff, that messes stuff up. And I just like continually racing, because like in video games, like this is gonna mess it up, because like if you're doing like a 20-lap race, you're gonna have a break at lap 5 and lap 10. That's not enough time to get your rhythm going and get your groove in. Like, you're gonna be wrestling your car the whole time. Basically what they're doing is, with those stages, at the end of stage 1 to stage 2, they'll throw a caution, and if you finish in the top 10, from 10th to 1st, you get 1 to 10 bonus points in the standings. So, and then if you win the stage, you get an additional playoff points. So like when you would have points in the playoffs for winning, like if you had 3 wins, you got 3 bonus points. Now it's for how many stages you win, which throughout the year, that could rack up crazy. And then the winner of the race gets 5 bonus points, so there's no points for leading the most laps or leading a lap at all anymore. They're ditching that. But you get 5 bonus points for winning and a point for winning each stage. So in theory, you could get 10, 20, 5 for winning, and then 16 and 17 for winning the stage in the playoffs. You at least get 15 bonus points each race if you won both stages and the race, which is technically they're calling like sweeping the race. That's kind of crazy, because I'll throw up a graph here, but it's going to make the gap from 1st to like 15th even more exponentially drastic. Like, it's just going to take off and then level itself out for the people that don't finish in the top 10. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Like, the points system is kind of going back to where it was before the chase in 04, like 2003 and prior, when they had the old point system and it went all the way to the final race. And that's going to matter now because of those points, those playoff points for winning this stage and your race wins. That carries into the playoffs, so you could theoretically have where you finish in the top 10 in points. That's going to matter, as you can see there. Plus your however many race wins you have, that's plus 5 for each one, and then whatever stage wins you have for an additional one, that's just for the playoffs going on. So the points are going to rack up like crazy, and it's going to get really confusing to start. I mean, at the forefront of all this, the stages and those points are literally changing everything, so it's going to make for more moments throughout the races. A lot of drivers were calling it. And the points are going to really rack up. So basically they're going to want to race for top 10 in every single stage in every race. So you're racing constantly to be up at the front, and it's like at Daytona, Talladega, where they would ride single file. That doesn't happen anymore. You're going to see it's like, oh, we're 3 laps from the first stage finish. Everybody fans out to 5,000 cars wide, and they're all just racing in a pack. And oh, there's the big one at the end of stage 1. Like, that ruined everything. I don't know. I think this is kind of stupid because it's really confusing. And that was my initial thought yesterday when this was going out. I'm like, what are you doing, NASCAR? This doesn't make any sense. But at the same point, it could make it really exciting just for the racing aspect. If you're at the race, you don't know what points anybody has. And it could get really confusing really fast. But because you don't know what's going on. NASCAR is rewarding drivers for finishing well and driving well throughout the race, instead of just driving and dominating a race and then getting caught up in a wreck at the end and you finish 30th. That's your tough luck. You didn't do anything except for lead a lap, you get a bonus point, whatever. That's gone now. So if you finish well in the first 2 stages, and in the second half of the race you get caught up in the big one or something like that, you still get rewarded for at least racing well. So it's your performance throughout the race matters now. And racing from lap 1 at Daytona to the final lap at Phoenix in race 35, racing the whole year matters. Which I think that's what they wanted to do, is make the racing from lap 1 to lap 500 or 400 and from race 1 to race 35 actually matter, even through the playoffs, which still are the playoffs. Nothing's really going to change there except for just these point systems, and that's going to carry over from each stage. So whatever bonus points you have in the first round, where it would up until last you just got wiped out after that when you went into the round of 12, those carry over. So you're racing, and it still resets, but you still keep those bonus points as you go through, which will matter when you're 11th or 3rd or 5th or 1st. I was a little confused to start out, but at the same point, I've had at least a day to think about this, because I recorded this on Tuesday. I think it's going to make it really interesting. It's going to make the point system exciting, I think, going down the road. I'll warm up to it, and if I think the staging makes the racing more interesting, I live 2.5 hours from 3 tracks. If this looks exciting in February, I'll sure as heck buy a ticket to Indianapolis, Michigan, or Kentucky. Been to Michigan, kind of okay with going to Indianapolis. Never been to Kentucky, even though with the repave it looks kind of boring. We'll see how it looks going later in the year. But I'll buy a ticket to one of these races because they're not too expensive, because everybody wants to sit at home and watch it on TV and on their phones all day, so the ticket prices are dropping because no one's going to the races. Whatever. A lot of fans are confused, and a lot of drivers and owners, track owners there at the press conference on Monday said the fans wanted this. I didn't, and the press that was asking questions got comments from fans live saying that the fans didn't get it, so I don't know where this came from except for the drivers. Maybe like 10 out of 5,000 fans thought it was cool. I don't know who came up with this idea. It might work in practice. I have no idea. That's my initial take on this point system and the stages. I'm kind of confused at first. I think it's going to be kind of cool in practice, and it'll make it a little bit more exciting, I guess. But I mean, you'll see this as much as I will, how it's going to play out. I think it'll work. But if you guys have any questions for me to clarify, because the more I read on this, the more I understand this, comment down below. I'll answer as best I can. Also, just go to NASCAR.com, because they've got stuff coming out on this repeatedly and often for anyone that doesn't understand this, and you can look it up and check it out. Thanks for watching me rant about my favorite sport, racing, because who cares?